Wow,
No way.
the meat so tender.
Is it even lamb?
Hello fellow foodies, hope you are having a wonderful day today.
If you are not, don't worry as we are about to light your day up.
I'm Quat.
I'm Wei Lun. Welcome to the Gourmet Plate.
Today is a big day.
It is an exciting day because we are about to experience some very unique Malaysian and Korean fusion food prepared by two wildly popular restaurants from two different countries.
Dewakan from Malaysia and Meta from Singapore.
For the uninitiated, let us give you a quick rundown on both restaurants. Meta, short for Metamorphosis, is a restaurant serving modern Korean cuisine operating since year 2015 and is helmed by Busan-born chef Sun Kim. In year 2017, they achieved their first Michelin star, and if I'm not mistaken, they have retained their star ever since. This year, they are also listed on the Asia's 50 Best Restaurants list, ranked at 60. We have not had Meta before, so this is the first time we are going to get acquainted with Chef Sun's cuisine. Whew, excited!
Also operating since 2015, Dewakan, which is made up from the word Dewa and Makan, essentially meaning God bounty, is headed by Chef Darren Deol and serve what one would call modern Malaysian cuisine, and using quality local produce that's sometimes uncommon to even Malaysian.
In 2019, Dewakan was the first Malaysian restaurant to be included in the Asia's 50 Best Restaurants list, and this year they have made the list as well as the highest ranked Malaysian restaurant at rank 66. Now that you know about these two amazing establishments, we are ready to start our virtual food tour. We just received the delivery package and we can't wait to start eating.
Let's dive right in.
So, this is the Dewakan and Meta spread.
I think it's well plated.
I hope so. Some of them are fully plated and are ready to eat. Some of them are semi-plated because it requires some light reheating and some form of simple cooking. For example, this Claypot rice right here is not heated up yet. The mandu is supposed to come with a broth. It's a Manduguk. We will reheat the broth when we want to eat the mandu. And this is the lamb Percik. Are we astronauts?
Very convenient packaging, ready to eat.
Yeah, this is literally, I think you just dip it into boiling water for 10 minutes. Without further ado, let us start with the first dish of the night,
Meta Hemu Pajan.
which is a Korean seafood pancake. We have followed the instructions and reheated the pancakes for 1 minute each. Let us try the pancake as it is first without anything on.
There's a very nice scallion fragrance, umami and mild saltiness. Texture soft and bouncy when you reach the squid.
Their prawns also, they've got quite a lot of seafood on this piece of pajan. And I could be mistaken, but there seems to be this waft of tartar sauce. And that is very interesting. It actually goes very well, if it is true. It's light flavored in general because we are not supposed to eat it like this. We are supposed to put on some daikon and dip it into their spicy dipping sauce.
Let's eat the pajan as intended.
Wow. The sauce is good.
The sauce injects life to the pajan. It gives it moisture. It's salty, moderate spicy and tangy. And also there's a sesame oil fragrance.
And I think there are raw onion in there, so it gives you that very nice crunch with spring onions and the onion sharpness. It's a very addictive sauce. On its own, it's quite salty, but on the pajan, very good match.
Yeah.
And again, I tasted that tartar sauce again. I don't know why, it's just there. There's this tartar fragrance with the flavor, and it plays very well. It mingles with the sauce.
And the pancake daikon has this very nice sourness. It gives you a refreshing crunch.
The entire combination works very well. It's very harmonious. The pancake on its own is pretty good, but it's a tad boring. when you add the pickled daikon, you add the dipping sauce in, it really becomes a totally different beast altogether. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's a good start. Moving on to the next dish, which is the Ssam. In Korean, it means wrap. You know the type of lettuce wrap meat that you get from Korean barbecues? This is it, but in a fusion version. Basically, you wrap it in kimchi and you put in some nuts together with rojak sauce and gochujang sambal. But before that, let us try this drink first, which is the pineapple, tomato and gochujang juice. So the advice from Dewakan is to drink it with a glass full of ice, and that's exactly what we will do. For refreshing. It's surprisingly quite complex in flavors. You start off by getting the tang from a tomato and then you taste the flavor of the pineapple. It's quite pronounced. And it ends with this little bit of spicy notes, I believe, from the gochujang. And because of the gochujang sauce, there are hints of undertone of savory flavor. And it completely washes off the slight oiliness from the pajeon. This is good. On to the next dish, the Ssam. Alright, so the way to eat this Ssam is first to use some lettuce and some betel leaves as a base, add some pumpkin kimchi and some pear kimchi, couple of dry coconut, some peanuts, sesame seed, and just a little bit of that rojak sauce and some sambal. Wrap it up and eat it. Crunchy, juicy, salty, spicy. Pumpkin kimchi, sour, salty, spicy. Pear kimchi, sour. Both of them are crunchy and juicy and refreshing. Lettuce and betel leaf, you don't really taste the flavors because the rest of the flavors are stronger. Peanut and sesame seeds as well. Not so much for the flavor, but for the texture. It gives you that nice crunch. The flavor mainly comes from the rojak sauce and the sambal. Sambal is spicy and salty. The rojak sauce has this beautiful, I think it's a shrimp paste umami. Both of them are very potent. Just use a little bit will do. If not, it will oversalt the wrap. The magical touch here is this, the coconut flake. After the flavors hit, you get a taste of this. Sweet, salty coconut flavor. And it lingers. So every single wrap that you eat, it ends with this flavor. Absolutely brilliant. Brings you to the next level. Delicious. That coconut flavor, my god. It keeps releasing with every single bite. Very interesting wrap. Very good wrap. Alright, course number 3, Manduguk,
which is Korean dumpling in soup.
Let us quickly heat up the broth and try this out. Guys, I'm calling it right here. Smoky broth! Very smoky. In fact, it's so smoky, the house might as well be a smokehouse right now. It's crazy. While we were microwaving it, that smell, the aroma. By the way, the broth is smoked duck broth, and the mandu is a braised duck tongue and hikama mandu. Okay, I can't wait. Let's quickly try the broth first. Wow. Tangy, a little bit of spiciness, smoky, very smoky, and you can taste the duck's flavor in it. It's like the meat of the duck, but you don't see the meat. I think the best way to describe the flavor of the duck is like they took the duck, they extracted his soul, and then they planted in the soup.
This reminds me of Pitek Tim, which is a Nyonya duck soup.
Yeah. In fact, it is. I think it is a variation of it. Oh, the spicy cake is so good, man. It punches you in the face, but it dissipates relatively quickly, so it doesn't linger.
And the sourness.
Yeah, it's very addictive. Okay, let us try the mandu. I'm really excited. Oh. Peppery.
Salty, savory, and the crunchy from the hikama.
And the skin is thin, is soft, and because it has been sitting in the broth for quite a while, right? The broth gives it an additional flavor of tanginess and smokiness. Let's quickly cut open to look at the ingredients inside. Oh, actually there's a lot of stuff in there. There are these beans. They give the additional crunch as well. I don't know what bean it is, guys, but it's like a semi-cooked peanut kind of texture. It's a bit of crunch and This is the duck tongue, I believe. Got a nice tender and chewiness. And within, they mix the hikama together with some shredded duck meat, and that's where the main flavor of the pepperiness comes from. I think they have probably some spring onions within as well, I'm not too sure. And that is how the complex flavor from the dumpling comes about. When we describe it, it's very simple, but it's actually a very complex layering of flavors. And it's very well thought out. The pepperiness is intense, but it's balanced and mellowed out by the tangy broth. So when you eat it together, it feels about right. And let me try the tomato. Guys, you try it, right? The tomato is sweet. It's pickled. It's got a pickled sourness, but it's sweet. As sweet as a tomato can get.
Wow.
Right.
It's feel like you are drinking the tomato juice.
Yeah. It's like tomato juice. Very, very good dish. Very, very impressive. Alright, dish 4 is a grilled coral trout with burdock rice and it's cooked in a clay pot. This will require a little bit of prep time because we got to heat it up on the stove, so give us a moment and be right back. Smells really good. All the seafood flavor is wafting through the air and it's really filled with a lot of seafood. We are supposed to add this, the perilla oil and their seafood sauce and stir the rice while it's hot. So to make it easy for us, we're going to remove the seafood, stir the rice and put the seafood back in. Look at the amount of steam, guys. That's crazy. And this is smelling so good. Okay, I think it's ready. Let's remove the shells and then we put all the meat back in. Okay, I think we did quite a good job with replating the Claypot rice. Let's not waste time and let's try it out. Rice is in a way sort of mushy, but it's got very good flavor. It reminds me oddly of yam rice that you eat from Bak Kut Teh stores. But it has a lot more depth to the flavor, I think due to the seafood sauce. It's got a little bit of spiciness, savory, salty. So I think they used a lot of things like onions or even garlics and stuff. It's all there. I could even taste some form of preserved vegetable, I'm not too sure.
And some sweetness from the sauce.
Yeah. Oh, this is a very addictive rice. It's very comforting. And the seafood, they all have their natural flavors. Scallop, decently tender, it's not chewy, it's cooked very well. Mushroom is a nice touch, they're soft with a little bit of bounce. And I think the star for seafood is the coral trout. Beautiful looking fish, just look at the surface of the skin. It's got a nice pink hue. And the flesh is completely white, it's pearl white. It's a firmer type of fish, but it's not tough by any means. It's firm, it's flaky. As you bite it, it's got that natural flavor and mild sweetness and fragrance. It's a really good fish. It goes very well with this rice dish. Oh god, this is very addictive. Again, they have knocked it out of the park with this Claypot rice. Okay, before this video gets too long, we need to move on to the final dish, which is this. The Percik lamb. Give us a moment, we need to prep this. Be right back. This is the lamb percik, and just look at this, there's so much. 3 huge lamb ribs, and I believe these are slow cooked and then grilled over the charcoal. For those of you who do not know, percik is actually a dish that contains a lot of spices within, and I think the main component is coconut milk, and it's originally used on chicken called ayam percik, and it originates from Kelantan. But in Dewakan's case, they changed it to lamb percik. It actually comes with this percik sauce as well that you need to add on. But I want to try as it is because it already has some of the sauce on. Let's cut open this lamb. Oh my god, it's soft. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, look at that pink flesh. My god, look at the juiciness. Oh, this is as tender as it gets. Okay, let's quickly try this first. Okay, let's go.
Wow,
No way.
the meat is so tender.
Is it even lamb? Dewakan, stop. You can't do this to us. Dewakan has spoiled lamb for us. I have not had lamb this tender. It's ridiculously tender. It's juicy. It's fatty. It's almost to the consistency of a piece of good beef steak. You could taste the grill on the surface. You could taste the lamb's natural flavor. Mild gaminess. It's not the goat type of gaminess. I would consider it a sweetness of the lamb. Just like how a good piece of beef will have that beef sweetness. And the marinade on top. Spicy, savory. You can taste all the spicy beef. I think this is the Percik marinade. They just give you more Percik sauce to put on because I could taste a bit of that coconut milk flavor, the santan flavor. Okay, let's grab another piece and put on that Percik. Yep, same flavor, just intensified. And I love how there's this layer of fat that protects the tender lamb meat within. This is very good. I'm not even a lamb person, to be honest, but I love this. I would order this, like, repeatedly. Unbelievably good. We're spoiled for life. Let's have a bit of the Ssam salad. By the way, Ssam is water celery. And over here, because I'm pickled onions and pickled cucumber, together with another piece of leaf that I'm not quite sure what it is. Herbaceous, tangy, probably from the pickled stuff, crunchy. And the leaf that I mentioned, the other leaf, not the Ssam, it has a very unique flavor. It's got a crunchiness, it's juicy, and it really resembles sort of like water apple. And why I love water celery is that aside from the herbaceous flavor, it also got that bitterness. And this really refreshes your palate. It cuts down on the fattiness of the lamb. I think it's a perfect side dish. Beautiful dish, beautifully executed, and ridiculously amazing in delivery format. So yeah, those are the main courses. A very fulfilling meal. We're going to finish this up first. Actually, we probably can't finish it. We're going to get some helpers later to help us. It's too much. Yeah. Be right back. We actually have dessert. Dessert is served.
Barley tea cream with pistachio tart.
It's supposed to be tarts because they are true, but we are really full, so one will do.
Yeah. First off, the loaf, many layer. I think it should have many different flavor. This is nocatin, and this is the barley tea cream, and I think the pistachio plum is inside.
Shall we just cut across and see what is within?
Yes.
Ooh, well, looks like quite easy to cut, not too much resistance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of layers. There's like a layer of jelly in the middle too.
Yeah.
Okay, since the tart has like half of it with the nougatin and the other half without, I think we should try the one without first and see what it tastes like. It starts off with a delightful sweetness. There's definitely a tea flavor.
And the pistachio flavor.
And the biscuit outside is moderately crumbly. It's more like a soft cookie type, like digestive, right?
Yeah.
A bit like digestive. And I tasted mango.
Yeah, the special part is
I think the layer of jelly in the middle is mango. And it has a little bit, I don't know if I'm mistaken, a little bit of citrus flavor. It's very flavorful, but at the same time, it's quite light.
I think the mango jelly is sort of like to cut down the sweetness from the pistachio plum
and the cream on top. Yeah. It's good eh. It's better tasting than it looks. I mean, it looks pretty good, but it tastes even better. Wow. Let's try with the nougatin. Yeah. Oh guys, they got us again, man. The sesame fragrance is really strong. It's like sesame oil also. And the nuts give that texture together with that sweetness of that syrup, the sugar syrup. It's savory, which is why it also contrasts extremely well with the sweet tart. It's like you try one side, it's sort of like, it's very nice, but it seems to be lacking a bit of genius. And then you try the part with the nougatin. And that's where they come in and tell you, that's where the genius is. It's a very good tart, guys. It's unbelievably good, my god. The flower with the leaves there, I think it's mint. Again, another move that I really think it makes a lot of sense. The flavor of the mint, the fragrance of mint exposed in your mouth, it cuts down on the nougatin's heaviness. It's ridiculously well thought out. Yeah. My god, such a good dessert. Alright guys, so that is the end of a very scrumptious meal from Meta and Dewakan, and this is our thoughts on this collaboration. I think all of the dishes are extremely well thought out, very refined. I personally feel that it has reached the level of dining there. It's very close. I think this is one of those meals that is very difficult to pick a dish that I think is the best dish of the night. All of them are very good. But if I were to pick a personal favorite, I would pick the Claypot rice.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm a rice kind of guy. I like rice, so the Claypot rice is done very well. I like the flavors. Very well balanced. Yeah.
For me, I would pick the Manduguk.
Oh yeah, I like that also.
Yeah, because I like the broth so much. It makes me like I can add noodle and eat together.
Yeah. It's like a different version of ramen. Dewakan, I just give you the idea right there. You can make like ramen, Manduguk noodle.
Yeah. And I like the rojak sauce also.
Or from the Ssam.
Yeah, it has a very heavy, strong shrimp paste.
The umami is very nice. So Dewakan, if you could, sell it in a separate jar, Quite say she will buy it.
Yeah, to mix it with the fruits to become a rojak.
Yeah. I think what really impresses me the most is the amount of thought and the meticulous preparation that has gone into this collaboration. Because it's delivery. So when you look at the dishes that they are coming up with, like the Claypot rice or lamb Percik, you probably will think that it's going to be a little bit deteriorated because it's delivery, but they have gone about and circumvented it by way of allowing you to do some light reheating or so-called light cooking. And it really turned out fantastic. Like, it's straight out of the kitchen. Like the Manduguk, the Claypot rice, it's piping hot, especially the lamb Percik. That is really impressive. That is crazy. In fact, you can just sell it like in the supermarket.
Yeah.
Because it's literally in a vacuum pack and then you just heat it out in the water. Yeah. Perfect. And I think this really shows that Dewakan and Meta, they are on a very different level of playing field compared to the rest of the delivery meals that we have had.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning and very delicious. I would say worth every single penny that we have paid for. It's not a cheap meal, but it's worth every single penny. After trying out this collaboration, it makes me really excited to want to go and try Meta in Singapore. Hopefully we can visit soon. And also, of course, to dine at Dewakan again. So yeah, I believe that is it for this particular food vlog. Hope you had fun watching it because we really had a lot of fun plating the dishes and trying our best to film and not miss any of the angles and also assessing the flavors and so on. Hope the video is not too bulky. If you like what you see, do consider giving us a thumbs up. If you have yet to subscribe, do consider subscribing so that you will not miss any of our future food vlog updates. And also remember to hit that notification bell button. Till we meet again next time. Bye bye.